Bill, you were here today at Story Expo 2014 discussing suspense as it relates to screenwriting. Give us some examples of creating suspense and how important it is to a story.
Suspense is the anticipation of action. It's not action itself. The minute you have action, the suspense is gone. But what you want to do is create suspense in ways, and action can be anything. That can be something blowing up. You know, the joke I was talking about in class was the red LED bombs, the bombs that have the countdown on it, that you can only read if you're going to be blown up, because like no one's going to stand that close to the bomb. But as that countdown, that creates the suspense. And that suspense can be anything from Notorious has a bucket of champagne bottles at a party, and as the champagne bottles get pulled out and people are drinking and drinking and drinking, then finally we get to the point where there's no more champagne bottles. Somebody has to go to the wine cellar, and that's where Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman are poking around because they believe that the bad guys are doing something that's hidden in that wine cellar. So the suspense is, will they run out of champagne before they find the evidence and get out of there? And because that's a cool movie, it doesn't quite work out the way they planned, and they get caught.
So when you see someone write a script and they rush suspense, what are some ways to slow it down? When you see someone get right to something.
You don't want to jump straight to the action. What you want to do is you want to create the suspense, the anticipation. Because Hitchcock said that you can have a bomb under a table and it explodes and it's surprising. And you have like maybe 5 seconds of the audience going, oh my God, a bomb exploded. Or you can put the bomb under the table, the audience sees the bomb, and then you have the two guys have a conversation about anything, the weather, sports scores, and the audience is going, don't you stop talking about sports scores, there's a bomb under the table, it's gonna kill you, you've got to do something about it. And that's what creates the suspense. So what you want to do is figure out the ways to draw things out. And I mentioned in the class a crappy movie called Flesh Plus Blood, where one of the characters is trying to poison somebody with their water, and so they take the pitcher of water and they put poison in it. And what happens is then that character they're trying to kill takes the water and pours it into other people's glasses. And you're going, you can't do that, you can't do that, you're going to kill innocent people. And then pours the water into his glass, and as he pours the water into his glass, gets ready to take a drink, and then somebody says something to him, and he stops and has a conversation with the glass so close to him drinking it. And if that guy drinks it first and dies, then the person who poisoned it can tell everybody else not to drink their water. So it builds suspense in two ways that way. If somebody else drinks first, they've killed an innocent person. If this guy continues this conversation for too long, those people are going to drink first, it's going to be over.
What are some ways you've seen screenwriters try to draw out suspense, but it falls flat?
Usually what happens is they don't try to draw it out. Suspense is based around dramatic irony, where the audience knows something that the characters do not. And often what happens is they don't tell the audience. So the audience has no idea that the glass of water is poisoned or whatever. And so when the person drinks it, they die, and there's no suspense there. Suspense is telling the audience ahead of time what's going on, so the audience knows, but the characters don't. And that ends up being the big issue sometimes with suspense that doesn't work.